You can download this template of a greeting card envelope off of my video, and I'm going to try to explain to you how it can be used very easily. For those of you who make cards, and envelopes and so on get a little expensive too. I make cards out of cardstock, white paper usually, and then put in whatever colors I want and design the card. And then of course to mail it out, you need an envelope. Well, that costs money too. So I've developed this little easy to make paper envelope, and it's been working just fine. It doesn't come apart if you glue it properly and all. As you can see here along the left side here of the paper, there is a cutoff portion, and it says in lighting there, cut off, then cut the corners off. So the first thing you do with a paper cutter, usually, you can do it with scissors, but it's harder, is take your paper cutter and you cut away this portion of the template. Then we have the two top corners that form the envelope flap, and you cut those off. That leaves you with the basic envelope shape. Now I've highlighted it in black here so that you can see it a little bit better. I'm not a very good photographer, so that has something to do with it. But anyway, these marks here will show you where to cut. You need to save this tab and that tab, and I didn't mark it on my template, but you'll know that that has to fold under. And you cut off these corners in here. So the first thing I do then is I take my paper cutter and I slit, but don't cut it off all the way, I slit up the sides of this portion of the template, as you can see there. Now I'll usually take a scissors and complete, because you don't want to cut into the envelope part. So you clip up to that line, and then the next thing I do is cut those little sections off. And that would be like that. And turn it around. This doesn't have to be hard, and it doesn't have to be precise or pretty. People get the card, they throw away the envelope anyway. So now you've got the flap that's going to form the little box part of the envelope. Now the next thing we have to do is cut away the little side piece corners here that are going to give us the envelope flaps. So you cut those to the line, and then I cut down to that line and take that piece off. Again on this side, I cut to the line, and then I cut that piece off. And now we have our envelope ready to be glued shut. Now you can choose anything you want. I found this one, I think, at Walmart or somewhere, and it's a glue stick, and just make sure that it is for paper too, that it's not a one for plastic. Well, I mean, some of them might be for plastics, but I doubt it. Anyway, get the one for paper. And even though it says on here that it's washable, that's while it is still wet, because you don't want something, because of a little moisture, is going to let your envelope come apart. But once it's dry, I've never had a problem. And I'm not saying you can't use any other style either. Find whatever is the least expensive. That's the whole point of this, is to try to make something that's not expensive. Okay, the next step then is what I do is I turn my template now over, and I roll the edges back until I see, and it's hard to see because I can't operate the camera too, this line right here. That's my point as to how far, how much of it to roll back. And then you do the same thing on the other side. You roll that back. So now you've got the two edges down, and now we want to form the pocket. And so what I do is line this edge up with my external edge and watch for my line to come up. which gives me the length of it. And then press down on that. And as you can see, it's a little bit crooked on my folding maybe, but you can adjust that any which way you want to go. All right. Now comes the gluing. The gluing can be tricky, and I've attempted all kind of different ways to do it, but I think just go ahead and do it. You want to glue this flap, but you don't want to get glue on here, otherwise you'll close your envelope off, because you need to have this side pocket for the card to fit in. So I just take the glue and I run it up closest to the outside edge. Oops, gotta have some out. There we go, let's try that. And I run my glue up the edge like that. And then I take my flap and fold it over and just kind of make sure that it's safe. Now, if you run over a little bit with the glue, don't worry. While it's still wet, if you just take your fingers and go like that, it dries right off. Then the next step is to fold the flap over, and there's the line for the flap, and you fold that flap over, and there's your envelope. And so now, as you can see here, you have the envelope, and it's got its flap. You can tuck it in if it's just for a family friend. You're not going to mail it. You can tuck it in like you do a regular envelope, or you can fold it over. Now again, if you're mailing it, I have a different little ministry thing that I do, and I put some stickers on here to make a closed envelope, and I put some things on here too. But if you wanted to, just before you're ready to mail it, just run your glue strip this way and that way. Make sure the card's inside. Tuck it over and fold it like that, and it'll seal that envelope right up. So there it is. I hope you can make use of it. And it's a very simple thing to do. I've been doing it for about 5 years now, and I just thought it would be helpful to somebody who's in that business of making cards to maybe make an envelope and save some money. Can't do much about the stamp. That keeps going up all the time, but oh well. Have fun making it. Thank you very much.